Dow couldn't quite finish over 40K again, but keep pumping every week, funds. I bet the Fed and Yellen try to jawbone the excitement down on Sunday and Tuesday when they speak. We also have the FOMC meeting. Here's 3 things you need to know for this weekend and 2 interviews. Those 2 interviews are Don't Leave It to Chance, Why Everyone Needs a Will, and then Communication Can Be Fun. Also check out our winner and loser this week in the market. The 10-year stays just under 4.5, and WTI crude runs up to around $80. Here's 3 things. Speaking of crude, Biden wants no coal. While much of the world is building 1,000 new coal plants, the Biden administration just signed a pact saying that the U.S. and 6 other Western democracies are to shut down its coal power plants by 2035. Guess he won't be getting those votes. While there's been a 21% increase in wind and solar power since January of 21, there has also been a 21% increase in electricity prices. Why is so many 21s here? Since 2000, the U.S. has reduced its CO2 emissions more than any other country. Emissions down 21%, but the rest of the world is up 47%. We are well on our way to much more expensive power here. China sells solar and wind power to the rest of the world while using almost exclusively much cheaper coal power. A former OpenAI leader is saying that the company is putting profits over safety. Jan Leik has been disagreeing with other leaders in the company about their priorities to the point he had to say goodbye. OpenAI's chief scientist also announced his departure. So what does the top man at OpenAI have to say? Well, he says he's right, and they have a lot more to do. That kind of sounds like, hey, we hear ya. We will get to that someday. This isn't the first time that kind of response has been given to warnings about the dangers of AI. Here are the bigs for next week. Sunday, Powell is doing his jawboning. Monday, Canada holiday, which is Victoria Day. India has a holiday as well, which is Election Day. And there's a holiday in Switzerland for Pentecost. Tuesday, it's Jen and Yellen jawboning. Wonder what the difference will be between what she says and Powell. And then it's New Zealand's interest rate decision. On Wednesday, it is World Meditation Day. It's also UK CPI, US existing home sales, crude oil inventories, and FOMC minutes. There's Powell again. And then on Thursday, it's initial jobless claims, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, and new home sales. Friday, it's considered Brothers' Day. Go say hi to your brother. And then it's German GDP, durable goods orders. And then on Saturday, it is National Wine Day because you'll probably need it. Trade while you're sleeping across time zones with Arbitrage Trade Assist. Sign up today at arbitragetrade.com. Arbitrage Trade is your trusted source for business, finance, and tech info.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, on a journey that we're now on together as a family,
I'll make you something to eat, okay?
we can't help but be inspired by her every day.
Hey, Mom, we're about to start the movie.
Oh, yeah, I'll be right there.
Okay.
So really, we're the lucky ones. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Hi, Caroline.
Hello, Darin.
Hey, we're going to talk about something really fun today.
Super fun.
We're just going to call it Wills Are Fun.
Why not?
All right, you did a blog this week, said, don't leave it a chance, why everyone needs a will. And that is absolutely true. This is Mental Awareness Month. So I guess maybe the correlation there is that you can feel more at ease if this is done.
Absolutely.
And not drive yourself nuts about, oh, I got to get that done. I got to get that done. I got to get that done.
Well, and
which is what everybody does.
Right. And also then for, if something were to happen, it's peace of mind for your friends and family that you leave behind. I actually started writing this back in March. My uncle died unexpectedly in February, and he did not have a will.
Right.
And he not married, no kids, and so it's fallen to my mom and her siblings.
And no life insurance?
Not that they've been able to find so far.
Ouch.
And so that's kind of where this came from.
Well, that's a point in itself, though.
Right.
If you have to let people know what you have and if you have a life insurance and have, communicate
yes.
through this will, if nothing else.
Right, absolutely. And let someone know where it is.
Exactly. It's under the third rock behind the 8th tree in the backyard. Dig it out. It's 6 feet down.
Right.
I shouldn't say 6 feet down.
Oh. I thought that was on purpose.
Yeah, it sort of subconsciously was, I guess. So one of the keys is also just to leave the courts out of it, right, as much as possible.
Right. Just with my mom and her siblings, they've all had to go to a lawyer to have something notarized saying, that they'll let one brother be the executor
right.
and that they're not going to fight over stuff. So, and they live in different cities, and even one lives in Washington State. So it's been a whole court battle.
Yeah.
And they're not even fighting over stuff.
I was going to say, but the executor is just basically a point for everybody to fight too.
Right, right.
The fighting doesn't stop. But, again, it's just something to make it easier that, you're already grieving. So to have to do that too on top of it is kind of just salt in the wound, I think.
Right. And, me as a parent, now I say this in all love to myself when I was pregnant, but one of, pregnant women get different fixations.
No.
And mine happened to be on getting a will and a trustee set up and a guardianship, because I was terrified that something would happen to me and my husband, and our son would end up in the foster care system until it could go through the courts until someone else could care for him. And so that was kind of my fixation.
Yeah. And don't forget about your pets, right?
Pets
you
too.
mentioned pets.
Absolutely.
Don't let Fido go to go to the pound, I guess. Who knows where?
Yeah, if someone doesn't immediately step up. And also something that I was talking with one of our other coworkers when she read my blog was your digital assets.
Yes.
And what's going to happen to your email and Facebook.
It must be a new thing. Maybe I got a shot at that. A digital executor.
There you go.
Hire me.
Yes. And you don't have to have the same person for your physical assets and your digital assets.
Sure.
You'd
want somebody more tech savvy probably for that anyway.
Right. Or, the executor doesn't have to be the guardian for your child and things like that. You can choose different people. It doesn't have to be a one-stop shop for one person.
Well, these things have pages change over to memorials too, and then if whoever passes is in their will say that they want it to be kept
open,
they'd have to decide who's going to do that too, who's going to keep the bad guys from posting on the page and keeping it more maybe private or whatever it is they want to do with their page.
Right, but that's something
nowadays we have to worry about.
Well, and as you think about what you would like to happen to these things after you pass, that's something you can put into your will.
Right. So it's something fairly new, I would think.
Yes.
The investments too, like your 401k or whatever you might have out there. Maybe you have a bunch of money in arbitrage, and I'm not saying anything I want any of our clients to pass, but it just, you have to decide where that stuff's going to go to. We don't want a court to decide that. Right.
And if there's a certain charitable organization or something, you can say you want your assets or even just a percentage of them left to something that matters to you.
Yeah, like a cause, and like some of these really wealthy people do. They give 98% of their where it's going to go, and I guarantee you that's detailed,
right?
And a will,
right? Oh, for sure.
And then one of the last things is you said it's really important. I don't really think about this, and most people probably don't. But just as your life changes and your conditions change, you really should remember to go back and change your will and
update it. Exactly.
Yes.
Well, and even talking about the life insurance, make sure your beneficiaries are up to date. Make sure back. My son he'll turn 10 this year, and so the people we named as guardians then, we may not want the same. He now has been to school. He's made friends. And so we might want to change up guardianship, or our assets have changed or whatever. So you definitely want to make sure that that's something that stays updated.
Sure, you go through a divorce, maybe anything else that just is a life change event,
right?
And and people change other things, but then they forget. I've got this will,
right? Because it's not something you think about all the time.
No.
So just take this opportunity,
right?
Put it in your calendar, make an appointment. You can get a lawyer to help you with it.
All right. Well, I appreciate reminding us about this because we do forget, like you just said, in lockstep with the Mental Awareness Month, one more thing to make you feel better each and every day, right?
Right. Just to have something else taken care of.
All right. Thanks, Caroline. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Bye.
Hi, I'm EJ Williams for American Humane. For thousands of years, dogs have been our best friends in our worst times. Today, we're also learning that our best friends, millions of whom are abandoned each year, are often the best medicine when people are facing obstacles. To help both people and animals, organizations like American Humane have been working to harness the healing power of the human-animal bond, finding animals in need of forever homes and training them as life-saving service and therapy dogs to help our veterans, the elderly, and children overcome the daily obstacles of life. In this way, the rescued can become the rescuers. To find out how you can help give animals and the people they help a new leash on life, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Welcome, Royce.
I am here. What can I do for you, Darin?
Yes, you are. I want to talk about your blog, and I want to try to, talk about this in the proper manner so that we're both not feeling defensive when we leave here.
I'm not feeling defensive, but if that's the way you want to take it.
Yes, because I had preconceived ideas in my head. So anyway, you wrote a blog this week about communication can be fun.
Absolutely can be fun.
Right,
it can be frustrating sometimes too, because a lot of people have a lot to say sometimes.
Oh,
and words sometimes do not do feelings justice.
And it's so weird to do it in person here instead of like through text or social media or where anything can be turned anyway.
Yeah, there's no tone, there's no body language, there's no gesture, there's no, side eye, there's no, grimace, there's no all these things that basically give you more information about the words that were said.
Right, and unless they add a GIF or an emoticon,
and then sometimes those can even be misconstrued.
Yes, they can.
It's like, why did you add a melting smiley face? What does that even mean?
Yes, that's right. I need more info. Well, I have a quote as usual, and this time it's a nice, cheery one.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not going to go the negative route because communication can be fun. So I'm going to communicate this quote and tell you that good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity.
Yes, and everyone seeks clarity. Everyone always wants to know, and basically no one wants to.
And that was Nat Turner, by the way. Go ahead.
Nat Turner. Yes, Nat Turner.
I interrupted your.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. My waning philosophical. Yes.
Somebody stop me.
Right. That's about right. But I'm thinking that like a lot of people that no one wants to feel bad, no one wants to feel wrong, no one wants to be the bad guy. And there is no bad guy if you take the time to communicate, right? Because so many people misunderstand each other, and for so many, even those people who suffer from depression and most of the time they just want to be heard. They don't feel like their voice is being heard. So if you can take the time to basically embrace the fact that, hey, listen sometimes more than you talk, and sometimes listen and try to put yourself in their point of view. It may surprise you how many times you go, oh, I never would have considered that. They're still wrong. I mean, no.
That's right.
But at least I considered it for a brief moment.
Maybe that's why people like social media. There is no direct response. They don't have to look at somebody's face and what they say after they talk about it. And they can just say, I'm right, because nobody said otherwise.
It's like silence.
Until they return.
Silence is consent, right? No.
Silence is also another form of passive aggressiveness.
It can be, but sometimes it can be interpreted because there's no communication actually going on.
Right.
That silence can mean they're ghosting you. Yeah. That silence can mean they're just completely busy, whatever they're doing in their lives, that they haven't even had time to write back. I've even had where basically my wife has left where she started typing something, and for half a day, I have those dots. I'm like, what is she trying to say? She's thinking this long about it. So it'll drive you mad waiting for a text message. So it's better just to talk in person, call them. And for as much as I drive, I'm almost always on the phone or doing voice to text because there's no,
Yes.
And sometimes those messages are so horribly misconstrued.
Yeah, throw in some misspelled words and some wrong words, what you said, and
I'm like,
it's a whole other layer.
I'm like, did anyone understand this? I don't even understand this reading this again. So
that's right.
Good luck. Good luck.
Then you get passive aggressive at your phone. All right, so
that's just gaslighting you. It's gaslighting.
That's a whole nother blog, gaslighting. We could do that for sure and take up an hour or two. So basically, what you suggest is that we use I statements.
Yes.
Never say you, just say I. This is the way I feel.
Yep. And this is how I feel when this happens.
Yes. And then be clear and direct in what it is, not just vagueness.
Oh, yeah.
Be specific to what it is, that specific incident that may have turned you the wrong way or made you think differently.
And try to stay on subject. So if you're basically upset about one thing, make sure you clear your entire plate of that one thing. Don't let it spider, and then you have no idea how you got to that subject.
Yes. And listen actively. Don't have squirrels come in.
Oh, yeah.
And distract you. Like that phone.
Butterfly.
That's right. Well, that's nicer than a butterfly.
Right?
You can agree to disagree. You can say, hey, that I appreciate what you say and I appreciate what I say, and that we can just agree to disagree.
You don't have to agree with them. You just say, okay, you said that. I acknowledge that you said
Thanks
that.
for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Then empathy is important, that you practice that. I've been in your situation and I feel what you feel. Yes. And I felt the same way at that time, but I forgot.
Oh, well, that could be considered sarcasm, but
depends on the tone.
It really does.
And then to just at all times just remain calm.
Yeah.
Just remain calm and respect
and
it.
Listen and
respect the situation. Respect the other person.
And if you guys are friends, statistics shows. I'm going to give you a statistic because I like giving statistics. Statistics show if you have been friends with someone for at least 7 years, 9 times out of 10, you will be friends for life.
Wow. Well, you math guys, you come up with all of it.
Hey, 50% of marriages end in debt. That means the other 50% end in divorce. So did you tell me my choice are death or divorce? Sounds great.
You watched that guy too much. It was a comedian.
I did.
Yeah, that comedian. I know what you're talking about.
I stole that from that guy.
That's all right. But I appreciate you coming by and communicating with us this.
Yes.
And hopefully in future, we'll just say discussion/arguments, that they will become more discussions instead of arguments.
Absolutely.
And that both people will try to understand the other person. So appreciate you communicating that to us, and we will talk to you next week.
Absolutely. My pleasure. See you next time.
Thanks, Royce.
I win.
Okay.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school.
Jessica has been through a lot in her life from early childhood.
My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She came in looking to complete her diploma. She had a family she had to take care of. Anytime she needed help, we provided her help. She realized that we were here for her.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
My graduation, it was something I will never forget. I couldn't explain the emotion I was feeling because people like you and me sometimes may have doubts in ourselves, but I feel that everything's possible.
Jessica's future is brighter than ever.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
This week's winner and loser in the markets. The loser is AGBA Acquisition Limited, and their symbol is AGBA. They're headquartered in Hong Kong, and they are a wealth and health platform which engage in business-to-business platforms, healthcare and wellness services, fintech businesses, as well as financial advisory services. On May 6th, they announced a merger with Triller. That's not the Michael Jackson, it's Triller, Triller. They began the week at $3.50 and fell Friday to as low as $2.06 after the ER release on Wednesday. Their 52-week high is $4.29. 52-week low is just 32 cents. And the winner is AST Space Mobile, Inc. That's ASTS. They are headquartered in Texas, and they are building a broadband cellular network in space to operate directly with standard unmodified mobile devices based on an extensive IP and patent portfolio. ASTS began the week at $2.29 and rocketed up, yes, I said that, after their earnings release on Wednesday to as high as $5.11 Friday. Their 52-week high is $7.10, 52-week low of $1.97. Visit arbitragetrade.com and learn about Pips, our AI bot, who lets you stop watching and start living. Remember, we are not financial advisors, but we do provide an AI bot algorithm service. Thank you for joining us today for another edition of Arbitrage Weekend News. Log into arbitragetrade.com to read our wide variety of blogs and educate yourself on Trade Assist and Forex trading, or even how to make passive money with our Trade Assist affiliate marketer program. You can even get to know our cute little AI bot called Pips.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC, please visit arbitragetrade.com.